The Fender Deluxe is one of the most widely used guitar amplifiers in all of guitar history. Throughout many different eras, there's pretty much always been a Deluxe in Fender's catalogue for you to choose from. And they've become particularly popular with professional session guitarists all over the world. And why is that? Well, I can think of a couple of different reasons. Firstly, it is a relatively small combo, low-powered combo, usually around 20 or 22 watts, which means that not only does it record really, really well with a microphone in front of it, but is also just enough loud enough, and more importantly, portable for small club gigs. Reason number two is that its character lends itself to so many different genres and styles of music. And that's not to say that it has no character or has a sterile character, but it's just a very versatile character that has become the sound of so many different genres. So the Fender Deluxe, in my opinion, is a pretty big deal. There's been countless versions, countless clones and takes on the Deluxe. Even some Dumbles started life out as Fender Deluxes, believe it or not. So what if somebody took the two best and most popular eras of Fender Deluxe, the brown face and the black face eras, and put them into one beautifully made combo? Well, you get this. This is the Emprise Amplification Harrier. Before we dive into the amp, let's hear it in a track that I made solely using this amplifier. No pedals were used. All the different tones that I'm getting are from tweaking the different features of this amp and pushing it in different ways. Before we go any further, if you like this video so far, please consider giving it a like and also subscribing to the channel. I still think that like 90% of my regular viewers are not subscribed to this channel. So it would really help me out if you're one of those 90% if you'd go and subscribe. Emprise Amplification is a small one-man amp builder from the beautiful city of York here in the UK. Phil is building some of the best amplifiers, definitely this side of the pond, but probably wider than that as well. Here are some pictures of inside this actual amp, and you can just see the level of work and craftsmanship that go into every single one of these Emprise amps. All point-to-point wiring for the finest components available, including Hammond transformers. There's also a lot of glass inside of this amplifier. We have, I think, something like 7 tubes in here, 7 valves. We've got 3 12AX7 preamp tubes, 2 12AT7 tubes, and then we have also 2 6v6 power output tubes. All of that comes together to create an extremely loud but versatile 20 watts. Let's start with the rhythm channel, which is going to be our blackface voiced channel. So here you're going to get the cleanest sounds out of the Harrier, the spankiest, the sparkliest, think your maybe continuum type tones out of this side of the amp, the rhythm channel. I'm going to keep reminding you as well that this is still only a 20 watt amplifier. It is a very loud 20 watt amplifier, but you can still push this rhythm channel into a bit of overdrive. And the rhythm channel in particular overdrives in a really vintage and crispy way that just oozes kind of vibe and character. Simple treble and bass controls on this side of things keep things nice and simple for us silly guitarists. And to be honest, there's not much more I want. In fact, most of the time I've got things straight up the middle, treble and bass straight up the middle. Maybe I'm pushing the treble a little bit or backing down the bass depending on the guitar, but it's a really great EQ section. I need no more. Let's move on to the lead channel, and as you might have guessed it, this is where the brown face type tones come into this amplifier. Early 60s brown face Fenders have a reputation for being more raucous, more rude than their successor blackface amplifiers. And the same is true here. The lead channel is more focused, much more mid-rangey, and definitely less scoopy. So you sort of hear slightly less treble and bass frequencies, and it's all kind of down the middle. The key with this channel though is that it overdrives just beautifully when you start to push it past 9 or 10 o'clock. It really starts to get gainy quite early, and I like that about this channel. I've ended up relying on the lead channel probably more than the rhythm channel because I think it suits my playing personally. Not only that though, even when you are overdriving it slightly, it still takes a wash of pedals in the front end really, really well. On this side, we just get a simple volume and tone. I really don't need much more than that. Again, I'm just pushing the tone ever so slightly up or backing it down, depending on the guitar. That covers the two channels of the amplifier. However, there are a few more cool features and options that come with these Emprise amps that are worth noting. And also, I think these little things really elevate this amp to what I would say is high-end status. Firstly, on the Harrier, both channels share a tube-driven spring reverb and tremolo, which sound absolutely stunning. The spring especially is everything you could want from a good valve amp spring reverb. You know, I often use digital emulations of spring reverbs. Nothing quite comes close to the real thing though. It sounds epic. Subtle ambience all the way to some slightly drippy, surfy tones that are a lot of fun. And when you combine that with the tube-driven tremolo, it's so good. All you need is a guitar, a cable, straight into the front end. You've kind of got all your tones sorted. see if I can switch it round and show you the back of the amp. So on the back of the amplifier, we have a 3-way negative feedback switch. Now, I'm not going to go into all the details of what negative feedback is because it's quite in depth. But essentially, back in the day, Fender used negative feedback to eke as much headroom and volume out of their amplifiers. What Emprise has done, though, is given you 3 different positions of negative feedback to allow you to further tailor the amount of breakup your amp has, the volume and overall headroom that your amp has. So kind of as it comes, it's got the most headroom, and then you've got 3 positions or 2 more positions backing down from that. So if you want it to break up more, but have slightly less headroom, you can tailor it here. When ordering an Emprise amplifier, you get a choice of some really, really nice speakers. This one, however, has an Eminence Alessandro GA SC64, which in my opinion would be the way to go if you're ordering one of these. People put Alessandro speakers in their vintage Fender Deluxes as an upgrade, so kind of makes sense. It's a beautiful, beautiful sounding speaker. Unfortunately for this demo, I don't really have the facilities to get the best out of this speaker with a microphone in front of it, so we are hearing it through my Boss Waza tube amp expander using a 2-rock IR, but you'll have to take my word for it. It sounds absolutely glorious in the room. Really beautiful amplifier that pays tribute to 2 of the most classic amplifiers in guitar history, with a few modern attributes that make this a really attractive package. Amazing build quality, tone for days, character to die for. What more could you want?